What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing my Premier League predictions of the 2020-2021 season. I did make a predictions last year. I didn't upload it, but I have them if you want me to react to them. I know it's a bit late now. I'll make another video doing that. But anyway, this season, obviously different teams in there because of the promotion and relegation. And if I do predict a team that you like and to be lower, I will try and justify it. So, if you don't like that, then that's fine. We'll see at the end of the season where they finish, and I'll react to it then. I might react to the comments of, I get some that hate me and then I'm right, because that'll be fun. But anyway, the team I'm predicting to finish bottom of the Premier League is West Bromwich Albion. They haven't really made any signings, obviously they've signed Pereira on a permanent deal, which is big, but he has to just make the step up and perform straight away. I think I'm also a bit salty that they've sold Leko, who is a legend in the keep your career mode, but yeah, I just don't think they have enough quality, so I think they'll go down bottom. But West Brom fans, don't worry, I'm predicting Aston Villa to go down with you. Yep, in 19th I'm going with Aston Villa. They have signed a few players. They signed Ollie Watkins from Brentford, who was very good last season. They've also signed Matty Cash from Nottingham Forest, who again was quite good last season. Both got team of seasons. But they're going to have to perform in the Premier League straight away. I think Villa were very lucky to actually stay in the Prem last season. The main reason they stayed in was obviously that huge blunder in the Sheffield United game where Sheffield United were denied a clear goal, and Aston Villa basically stayed up because of that, because they stayed up by 1 point and Bournemouth went down. But I don't think they'll stay in this season. And in 18th I'm predicting Fulham. I do think Fulham could stay up though, because they have made a lot of good signings, but they're all on loan. Areola, very good goalkeeper, but he's only here on loan. Same with Lamina, good midfielder from Southampton, so they're weakening another Premier League rival. They've also signed Harrison Reed of Southampton, and they've also signed Knockout. But yeah, I feel like they could stay up. This is one that I'm a bit on the fence with. But the last time they were in the Prem, they spent a lot of money. They also signed a lot of loan players, and they did go down. I'm not too confident that they will go down this season though. I did this a few days ago, so some things could change. But for now, I do think they might get relegated. And in 17th, just avoiding relegation, I'm going to put Newcastle. Again, this was done a few days ago, so I didn't Callum Wilson hadn't moved when I predicted this. They've also signed Ryan Fraser from Bournemouth, so obviously Wilson and Fraser have played together there already. They're going to have that chemistry. They've also signed Jamal Lewis of Norwich, a very good left back who could or who will help them. So I do think Newcastle could even finish as high as 10th, but they do need Callum Wilson to stay fit the whole season. I think Andy Carroll and Callum Wilson up top could be interesting. I feel like they would bang goals. I don't know why, I just have a gut feeling. But they're both really injury prone, so we'll see what happens with them.
I actually completely forgot to talk about the failed takeover. That was a huge reasoning behind me putting them in 17th, based on how well they did last season. I think everyone at the club was really excited about the potential of being by far the richest club in the world. Everyone thinks Man City are rich. This Newcastle or these owners, they were going to make them look like little peasants. But obviously that failed. I think it was a real blow for the whole club. Not the fans especially were looking forward to some investment. I'm sure Steve Bruce, who did really well to get them almost to the top half of the table with the team he had, although he didn't play great football, getting that much money, they would have been able to do bits. But yeah, I think that really that was a factor that really excited people in the club, and when it now obviously has failed, I think they'll have a really bad start to the season. But yeah, I do feel for the Newcastle fans, because imagine going from Mike Ashley, one of the stingiest owners in football, to some billionaires, man. That would have been amazing for them. But yeah, that's a huge reason as well.
In 16th, I'm going with West Ham. West Ham have a really, really good attack. They've got Haller, who was an amazing player in the Bundesliga in his last season there before he went to West Ham. They've still got Lanzini, Felipe Anderson as well. But obviously Lanzini is very injury prone. He hasn't played as much as he probably would have liked to the last few seasons. Felipe Anderson, very good player, but his team around him haven't really performed. And Antonio, who really saved them last season, at the end of the season he just came up and just started banging in goals. I believe he got 4 goals in a game. He got 6 in his last 4 or something as well. And they've also signed Souček permanently, who I believe he scored against Chelsea. He might have even scored 2 in that game, but that was a big match. And yeah, I do think West Ham will be fine. They should be fine, to be honest, but yeah, I'm predicting them to finish 16th. Then in 15th, I'm predicting Brighton. I think they signed Lallana of Liverpool. He's a good player. Obviously, he's getting a bit old now, but still very good if he can stay fit. In that, I believe it was 2016, 2017, he was amazing. If he can, rekindle that form, Brighton will be fine. They've also signed a young player called Dendoncker. It's not the Wolves player, it's another Belgian midfielder. But they have interestingly loaned out Shane Duffy, who I believe was one of their best defenders. And yeah, I just find that quite interesting. But clearly, Graham Potter, he's a decent manager. We'll see what he can do. 14th, I'm predicting Crystal Palace. This is quite a high prediction for me. Usually I predict Palace to finish in the relegation zone just because I don't like them. But every time I do it, they just finish mid-table. So now I'm just like, okay, they're not going to get relegated realistically. Roy Hodgson just somehow manages to keep them in the Prem. And now they're signing my boy Eze, obviously. The boy from QPR, he's... I really shouldn't make videos when I'm sick. But yeah, anyway. Eze, QPR, legend in the career mode, captain. He will be very good for them, hopefully. With Zaha with him as well, he should get a few more goals this season. He was very disappointing last season, but he doesn't have a great team around him. However, Eze will hopefully get a few assists.
And in 13th, I'm going with Everton. A bit controversial. And again, this was done a few days ago. I probably would put them higher now, but I'm just going to have to go with it because I don't want to cheat. So yeah, they've also signed James Rodriguez, signed Alan and Decore as well. They have a very, very good midfield with them 3. But they have a lot of attacking midfielders. For example, Sigurdsson. They've signed a lot over the years that haven't worked out. In terms of strikers, Calvert-Lewin was quite good last season. Moise Kean wasn't, on the other hand. Obviously, he's still young. And I think they are going to try and give him a chance because they have turned down a bid from Juventus, who originally sold him to them. But I think the loss of Sidibe, his loan's expired, that could be a bit of a problem for them. I don't think they have a great defence. Pickford isn't a great goalkeeper either. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with them. I do think they'll finish a bit higher than 13th, but I'm going to have to go with it. And in 12th, I've put Southampton. They decided to loan out Lamina, as we've mentioned earlier, and sold Reed as well. But they have brought in Walker Peters, a decent right back from Tottenham. But the main reason I put them there, they were solid mid-table last season, and they have a great manager in Ralph Hasenhüttl, so I think they'll be fine. 11th, I've put Leeds, again, mainly just because of their great manager. Marcelo Bielsa spends ages analysing every game, or every team he's going to play. It's pretty amazing. He sent spies to go spy on his rival. That's mad. And the team who he actually sent spies to were Derby, who, they did lose, but we'll ignore that. And the manager of Derby was Frank Lampard, so it'll be interesting to see what happens when Leeds and Chelsea play. But yeah, they've signed Rodrigo, Champions League striker. He's getting a bit older now though, so hopefully for them he can bang in goals. And above them in 10th, top half, I've gone with Sheffield United. Obviously had an amazing season last season. Defied everyone's expectations, even my own. Even though I put them very low in the table, I was one of the very few people I watched predictions of who did not put them in the relegation zone. But again, they have a great manager in Wilder. He got so much out of that team. However, they have now lost Dean Henderson. He's gone back to Manchester United because that was his parent club. He was only on loan at Sheffield United, obviously. They have replaced him with Ramsdale, who was Bournemouth's keeper last season. He's quite good as well. They've also signed Jaden Bogle, who I have in my QPR career mode again. Very young, very good as well. Hopefully for them, he can step up to the Premier League and deliver them some good performances. They've also signed Ampadu on loan, decent young centre back as well. So they're clearly building a young team. So clearly they see themselves getting into Europa League in a few years. Hopefully that will go well for them. In ninth, I'm predicting Burnley. Burnley are actually very interesting. They haven't signed anyone, but Sean Dyche is just a god. Like, he keeps them in the Premier League consistently, and I just don't think they'll get relegated. I think they'll be fine. Again, just a lot of good managers in the Prem who are at pretty much perfect clubs for their own philosophies. And yeah, although he doesn't play very entertaining football, he knows how to get results. I think he'll keep Burnley in the Prem comfortably again, get them top half again. In eighth, I've gone with Wolves. Wolves have sold Doherty, which I think is a huge loss for them. He's constantly getting assists for them. And obviously they got Europa League again, I believe. And although they have signed a young striker, I don't think they'll be able to get 7th again, just because Doherty will be a huge loss to them. And a huge gain, the team he went to in Tottenham, who I am putting 7th. Just mainly because I don't know if Mourinho will stay there the whole season. I can easily see them getting into the top 4 and then tailing off at the end, but staying in the top 4 or like getting 5th or 6th. But I can equally see them just having a horrible start like they did last season, Mourinho leaving, and them not really being able to recover enough. They signed obviously Doherty. They've also signed Højbjerg from Southampton, who isn't a terrible signing, but he's definitely not Champions League quality, I wouldn't say. They have also sold Vertonghen, who is one of their longest serving players, and although he didn't play a lot last season, he's still, a very experienced player to have in the dressing room. But yeah, anyway, he's gone. I'm predicting Tottenham in 7th. And in 6th, I'm going with their North London rivals. So St Totteringham's, they will happen this year according to my predictions. Arsenal signed a few good players. They signed Willian of Chelsea on a free, although he is getting old now. He could be decent. I think he got 2 assists today. I'm recording this just after the Arsenal Fulham match. And they've also signed Gabriel, a young centre back. And they desperately needed that because they're defenders. Like last season, they were carried by Aubameyang and Leno as well. Like Leno, honestly, is such a good goalkeeper. He's very underrated. Aubameyang, I don't know how we got a downgrade on FIFA, but that's for another video. I could easily make a whole video just about the FIFA ratings. They're absolutely dreadful for most players. But anyway, that's not what this video is for. This is the Premier League predictions. And in 5th, controversial, but I'm putting Manchester United in 5th. Yes, I know they did get top 4 last season. I don't know if they'll be able to do it again. The morale around the club is probably horrible right now. Obviously, Maguire with his trouble in Greece, with allegedly attacking a police officer and stuff. He is the captain, by the way, let's not forget. So that will bring the dressing room down. They've also got Greenwood's problems with what he did on his first England call-up. So I don't know if Ollie has the necessary experience to counter that and help bring it back up. Obviously, they did sign Van der Beek, who's a very good midfielder. They've also got Henderson back from loan, which I think is huge, and they need to play him ahead of De Gea because De Gea has lost it. He's been completely terrible now. But I don't know if they'll be able to qualify for the top 4. I think they definitely could, but I could easily see Ollie again getting sacked at Christmas if they're not having a good start. In 4th, I'm actually putting Leicester, who lost Chilwell to Chelsea. Huge loss. One of the best left backs in the Prem. They have replaced him with Castagna from Atalanta. He's not of the same quality. He's never played in the Prem, but we'll see. Maybe he'll work for them. And if he does, it would be an amazing piece of business from Leicester to sell Chilwell for 50 mil, buy Castagna for 20 mil. Although I do think Vardy will need to step up again. He's going to be 34 this season. But he keeps doing it. He keeps banging in goals. Last season, he won the Golden Boot at 33. He could do it again. Madison will be a year older as well. Same with Soyuncu. They've got a very good keeper in Kasper Schmeichel between the sticks. They've got Tielemans as well, who's still quite young and is improving all the time. So, and I think Leicester will finish in the top four. In third, I'm putting Chelsea. Chelsea have had an amazing transfer window. They've signed so many players, signed Werner, Ziyech, Thiago Silva, Chilwell, Malang Sarr, Havertz. All these players are amazing, and I think they will finish third. I think they could easily challenge for second though, and maybe even first. And I think in a couple of years they will definitely be a huge team in the title race if they can keep this team together. Werner will, in my opinion, be the top scorer in the Prem this season. Ziyech and Havertz, two very good creative players around him as well. They will be banging in a lot of goals. But not only that, they've got Thiago Silva, a very experienced defender. Although, yes, he's in his mid-30s now. He's still amazing. They've signed Chilwell as well for left back, which I think they needed. They've got Malang Sarr, a young centre back, to partner Thiago Silva. They've still got Tomori as well, Rudiger. They have a very, very good team, and yeah, obviously they've sold Willian, but I don't think that's gonna really. I don't think they're gonna miss him that much based on the players they've signed. However, they still got Kepa in goal, who, in my opinion, is one of the worst keepers in the Prem. He needs to go if they want to challenge for the title. I do think that. So I think third, they will easily get third with that team. They have the third best team in the Prem, and yeah, just they could easily get second or first though. Like if their team gels together really quick, they'll be in the title race. If it takes them a couple months, then they'll still finish third. So yeah, in second, this is the big one. Am I picking Liverpool or am I picking Manchester City? Obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan. Might be a bit biased, but I'm picking Man City in second. They signed Ake, who I definitely think they've needed because their defenders aren't great. They've got Laporte, who's very good, but last season he got injured. Stones isn't great. Otamendi's terrible. Walker isn't a great defender. He's very quick and good going forward, but I don't think he's that good at the back. And yeah, they've also signed a young Spanish guy called Torres. They sold Sane, who, if they had played last season, I think they could have won. Or even though he was injured, if he was fit and they actually played him, they could have won the Prem. They would have definitely been a lot more competitive last season because, in my opinion, Sane was the best winger when he played. Him and De Bruyne, they were mad. But anyway, Pep seems to think he ain't good enough, and he's gonna go to Bayern now and just dominate the Champions League with Gnabry and Lewandowski. So yeah, I mean, Man City have spent so much money and still need to get better defenders, and it's pretty mad. But Ake is a very good defender. Obviously, he was at Chelsea in the past. He went to Bournemouth and did well there. Should do well for them now. And in first, I'm picking Liverpool. Not much explanation needed, I don't think. We absolutely dominated the Prem last season. We didn't give any other team a chance until the end where we had already won. We're like, yeah, let's just party now. It didn't really matter. We've also sold Lovren and Lallana, who didn't really play that much last season. Don't think we'll really miss them. Although Lallana did get that amazing equaliser at Old Trafford. We've also signed another left back, Tsimikas, I think is how you say it, or something. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, it's nice to have some backup for Robertson because when we used to rest him, we'd had to play Milner at left back. And with his age now, although his stamina is ridiculous, he constantly wins the bleep test at Liverpool. His pace isn't there, and I think it is good that we signed a backup. But anyway, those are my Premier League predictions for the season. I think Werner will be the top scorer. De Bruyne will get the most assists. Alisson for the Golden Glove. And yeah, I'll see you at the end of the year where I react to these predictions.